Welcome back to Gone Legends. Tonight, we come together in heartfelt remembrance of America's beloved stars who have departed from us, individuals whose talents, dedication, and passion brightened our lives and whose legacies now live on in our memories. Before we begin honoring them, please like this video, subscribe to Gone Legends, and share it so their names and stories continue to be remembered. And don't forget to comment below, where in the world are you watching from today? Let's connect across distances in this moment of reflection. Now, with quiet respect, let us honor the lives we've lost today. Jerry Adler was more than just a familiar face on our television screens. He was an artist whose life was dedicated to storytelling in its purest form. Born in 1929, Adler grew up in Brooklyn, New York, surrounded by the rich cultural heartbeat of the city. His career would stretch across decades, encompassing both stage and screen, cementing him as one of America's most respected character actors. Audiences across the world came to know him as Hesh Rabkin, the shrewd music producer in HBO's groundbreaking series The Sopranos. It was a role that gave him recognition in his later years, proving that great talent only deepens with age. But Jerry Adler's contributions began long before his time in television drama. His earliest career was in Broadway theater, where he worked behind the scenes as a stage manager and later rose to become a theater director and producer. He was part of legendary productions like My Fair Lady, Guys and Dolls, and many other classics that defined mid-20th century American theater. He didn't just act, he shaped the very stages on which actors performed. Through his work, Jerry Adler bridged the worlds of theater and television. He appeared in dozens of shows over the years, from Law and Order to The Good Wife, always delivering performances filled with nuance and dignity. His presence was quiet yet commanding, the kind of actor who could steal a scene with just a glance or a pause. On August 31, 2025, Jerry Adler passed away peacefully in New York City at the age of 96. The cause was reported as natural age-related complications. Though his departure came at the end of a long, full life, it leaves behind a silence felt deeply by those who admired him. Jerry Adler was laid to rest in Mount Hebron Cemetery, Queens, New York, a final resting place close to the city that shaped him, nurtured his dreams, and gave rise to his incredible career. Today marks the first anniversary of his passing, and we remember him not only as a performer but as a steward of American theater. His death reminds us of the fleeting nature of life, but his work reminds us of its lasting impact. His legacy endures, in the laughter, the tension, and the stories he gave us. As we revisit The Sopranos, or hear the echoes of Broadway's golden age, we will always feel Jerry Adler's presence. Jerry Adler was a man who never sought the spotlight for himself, but rather for the stories he told. And that is why he will never be forgotten. Floyd Levine was one of those actors whose face you may not have always known by name, but whose presence you never forgot. His career spanned decades, weaving through some of the most beloved films and television shows of the 20th century. He was a character actor in the truest sense, an artist who poured authenticity into every role, elevating each project he was part of. Born in 1932, Floyd Levine grew up during a time of great change in America. From a young age, he had a natural charisma and a love for performance. His career began in theater, but his breakthrough came in television and film, where his ability to bring depth to even the smallest roles quickly set him apart. He became widely recognized for his role in the 1988 martial arts classic Bloodsport, starring alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme. Though his part was supporting, Levine's performance brought a grounded, human quality to the film that balanced its action-packed energy. Similarly, in The Rookie, 1990, with Clint Eastwood and Charlie Sheen, Levine again demonstrated his gift for embodying characters that audiences could immediately relate to. But perhaps Floyd Levine's most enduring contributions came on television. He appeared in acclaimed shows like Hill Street Blues and Cagney and Lacey, both staples of 1980s American television. In each of these, he gave life to characters who felt genuine, ordinary men caught in extraordinary situations. Viewers may not have always remembered the character's name, but they remembered Floyd Levine. His talent was not about flash or fame, it was about honesty. He once said in an interview that acting for him was about finding the truth in the moment. And that truth was something he consistently delivered. On August 31, 2025, Floyd Levine passed away in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 93. The cause of his death was reported as natural causes related to age. He lived a long life, one filled with dedication to his craft and respect from his peers. Floyd Levine was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills, California, a place that has become a resting ground for many of Hollywood's greats. It is fitting that a man who gave so much of his life to film and television now rests among others who shaped the same world. Today marks the first anniversary of Floyd Levine's passing, and we remember not only his career, but the quiet dignity with which he lived his life. Floyd Levine may never have been a household name, but he was a foundation, one of the many hardworking actors who kept Hollywood alive and authentic. Without artists like him, there would be no stars to shine as brightly as they do. His career reminds us that every performance matters, every character has meaning, and every actor, whether lead or supporting, leaves a mark. As we look back on his work, from Bloodsport to Hill Street Blues, we are reminded of how vital character actors are to the fabric of storytelling. They are the unsung heroes, the ones who make the worlds we watch feel real. Floyd Levine was one such hero. And so, as we honor him today, we carry forward the lesson his career taught us, that greatness isn't always measured in fame, but in truth, dedication, and heart. Kenneth Washington was part of a generation of actors who helped transform television into a medium that reflected a broader spectrum of American life. Though his career may not have had the same spotlight as Hollywood's biggest stars, he left a mark that continues to resonate, especially with fans of classic television. Born in 1950, he was actually born in 1946, in the United States, Kenneth grew up during a time of enormous cultural change. The civil rights movement was beginning to shape the country, and television was gradually opening its doors to a more diverse group of performers. Kenneth Washington became one of those trailblazers. He is best remembered for his role in Hogans Heroes, the beloved World War II sitcom that ran from 1965 to 1971. When Ivan Dixon, who played Sergeant Kinchloe, left the series after the 5th season, Kenneth Washington stepped into the role of Sergeant Richard Baker for the show's final year. It was no small task. Hogans Heroes was already an established series with a devoted fan base. But Kenneth brought his own style to the role, and in doing so, he cemented his place in television history. Though his time on Hogans Heroes was brief, it was important. Kenneth Washington was among the few black actors to secure a recurring role on a major sitcom during that era. Representation on screen mattered deeply then, as it does now, and Kenneth's presence was more than just entertainment, it was progress. After Hogans Heroes, Kenneth continued to work steadily in television. He appeared in a variety of shows, including Adam, 12, Dragnet, and Sanford & Son. He also had roles in popular police and detective dramas of the 1970s and 1980s, showing his range as a performer. But beyond the credits, Kenneth Washington was known by colleagues as a warm, professional, and kind-hearted man. He respected his craft and carried himself with quiet dignity, leaving behind not just a career of performances but a reputation for integrity. On August 31, 2025, Kenneth Washington passed away in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 79. The cause of death was reported as complications related to natural causes. His passing marks the end of a chapter, but also a reminder of how far television has come thanks to pioneers like him. Kenneth Washington was laid to rest at Inglewood Park Cemetery in Inglewood, California, a resting place close to the city where he spent much of his career. Today marks the first anniversary of his passing, and we reflect on the path he walked, not just as an actor, but as a man who helped break barriers on American television. For fans of Hogans Heroes, Kenneth's role as Sergeant Baker is forever etched into memory. He carried on the legacy of the character with strength and humility, ensuring the series closed with dignity. For younger viewers discovering the show today, he stands as a reminder of the actors who paved the way for future generations of diverse talent on screen. Kenneth Washington's career may not have been filled with blockbuster headlines, but it was steady, meaningful, and impactful. He proved that representation matters, that every role, large or small, has the power to change perceptions, and that kindness behind the scenes is just as important as talent in front of the camera. As we honor him today, we hold on to the truth that Kenneth Washington's legacy isn't just in reruns or film archives. It is in the progress that continues in Hollywood, in the opportunities now open to so many because of the work of men like him. Kenneth Washington lived his life with purpose, pursued his craft with dedication, and left this world having played his part beautifully. And for that, he will always be remembered. As we bring this tribute to a close, let us pause and reflect on the lives we've remembered today. We spoke of Jerry Adler, a man who gave decades of his life to theater and television. From Broadway to The Sopranos, he embodied the timeless truth that art doesn't age, it only deepens. He taught us that even in the quietest performances, there is a power that lingers. We honored Floyd Levine, a gifted character actor whose face became part of countless beloved films and shows. His life reminds us that every role matters, that every contribution shapes the stories we hold dear. He was proof that dedication, consistency, and honesty in one's work can leave a legacy as strong as any leading star. And we remembered Kenneth Washington, a pioneer of representation on American television, who carried the torch of progress during a pivotal time in history. His work, particularly in Hogans Heroes, ensured that television reflected not just stories but society and the people within it. Each of these men lived differently, but they all shared one thing in common. They gave themselves to their craft, and in doing so, they gave something lasting to us. Their voices may be silent now, but their stories are eternal. When we lose artists, it feels as though a part of our cultural fabric unravels. But when we remember them, when we speak their names, when we share their work with new generations, we weave those threads back into the tapestry of history. That is what keeps them alive, not in body but in spirit. So tonight, as we say farewell to Jerry Adler, Floyd Levine, and Kenneth Washington, let us do so with gratitude. Gratitude for the joy they brought us, the lessons they left behind, and the memories that will never fade. At Gone Legends, our mission is simple: to remember, to carry forward the names and legacies of those who gave their lives to art, sport, public service, and entertainment. Together, with you, we build a place where these legends never fade into silence. If you, too, believe that their stories matter, then please take a moment now to like this video, subscribe to Gone Legends, and share it with others who value memory and legacy as much as you do. Your support helps us keep these stories alive. And before you go, please leave a comment below. Tell us which of today's stars left the greatest impression on you, and tell us where you are watching from. Each comment is not just a message. It is part of a collective remembrance, a way for us to stand together across time and distance. Legends may pass from this world, but they never leave our hearts. And as long as we speak their names, they are never truly gone. This is Gone Legends. Thank you for watching, thank you for remembering, and above all, thank you for keeping the flame of memory alive.